How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the first official Pale Twin podcast. We're happy to be here with you. You got Luke, Chris, AJ, and Lance. We're going to be sitting in, telling you a little bit about ourselves, what got us into music, and what makes this band special. Like I said, my name's Luke. I'm the vocalist here for Pale Twin. Some of the things that got me into music when I was first falling in love with it were all the classic Pink Floyd albums, mainly Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall. I love Slipknot, Breaking Benjamin. I follow a lot of rap as well, and it's just all over the map. But just so much good music in my time that I feel lucky that I got to see and hear, and it just made me want to do it as well. And for some reason, it made more sense to me to write it than to play it with my hands like the rest of the guys. So that's what I got into, and I got lucky meeting, some of the best musicians all around in Cincinnati, as I grew up in the industry, and I just feel very blessed to be in this situation. We just recently started working with a sponsor who will remain unnamed for now until we get more of the information, but we're just very excited to be here with you and to what's going to be coming in the future. So I'm going to hand you over to our lead guitar.
Yeah, I'm Lance. I do the lead guitar and stuff. Me and my buddy Kevin joined the band not too long ago. It's been a few months now, but we've got a few songs with the guys under our belt, and it's been a lot of fun. Growing up, I listened to a lot of just classic guitar player music. You think of classic rock, and then going into the 80s and 90s stuff with Eddie Van Halen and Metallica and just bass line. What would you think a guitar player listens to? But I've branched out as I've gotten older into more grungy stuff, trying to go back and listen to the older stuff from bands that are popular now, like Bring Me the Horizon and stuff like that, because I haven't heard a lot of that music yet, and I'd like to. But those are the main things that I listened to growing up and inspired a lot of the writing that I do. I wish Kevin were here to speak for his influences, because that's a lot of what we base the songs around are his riffs.
Yeah, Kevin's out hustling at the moment.
He's out working, so he couldn't be here. But I'll pass you over to Chris and let him tell you how he got in the band.
Chris, what is your role?
Hi, I'm Chris, and I am the bassist for the band. So when I first started getting into music, it was through Guitar Hero, actually. I was a Wii kid growing up, so I got Guitar Hero and Super Mario Bros. 3 for Christmas the year that I got a Wii, and Guitar Hero was the game that I ended up playing the most. Probably played few hundred hours on Guitar Hero by the time that I was 13, and then after that, had a bit of a period where I just wasn't too interested in music, and then, I heard punk rock for the first time. That actually was kind of what reignited the spark. The band that I first listened to was Rise Against, and now I'm listening to stuff that I think still surprises some people that I even know that it exists, or that it just exists. But yeah, basically anything that is an underground band, I probably could find something I enjoy about them. Most of my influence comes from punk, hardcore music, and similar genres. But yeah, I think that was kind of where my influences come from. For joining the band, it was because my aunt saw a message from Luke on Facebook saying that he was looking for people to join him on a project, and I didn't have Facebook, but my aunt did, and she knew Luke's mom, so she saw the message, and just everything kind of fell into place, and now I'm with these weirdos. God.
That's so funny. I didn't know that. So that's almost the same thing I did. So when I was a kid, I feel like it would have happened anyway because my dad played guitar and he was super into music and stuff, and all my sisters sang. So I had big music going on around me. But that's what I did. I was an Xbox kid. So I started with Guitar Hero 2, and I played Guitar Hero 2 and 3 until
3 was the GOAT.
3 was the best.
3 was the GOAT.
Can't top that. They shouldn't even try. But I played the crap out of those, and once I beat them on Expert, I was like, well, what do I do now? Moved on to Rock Band for a bit, but I was like, no, this is just more of the same. So I picked up my dad's guitar, and I got to do it in that. So that's funny. We almost did the same thing. When I started, I've played it since I was real little, but I started taking it seriously around the same age. I'd say about 12 or 13, somewhere in like early middle school.
I gotcha. Let's get our final introduction, at least for now, until Kevin graces us with his presence.
Hi, I'm AJ. I play drums for Pale Twin. I think the first CDs I had were the Godzilla soundtrack and Batman Forever soundtrack that my parents had. And I got into music through Sunny Day Real Estate, the song 8 back in the day.
Because you and your brother do music, so obviously there was some influence.
Well, funny enough, Luke just asked because me and my brother both do music. Funny enough, he also got into guitar through Guitar Hero. So
It's a rite of passage.
it is a whole generation of guitar players.
Kind of like a sleeper agent thing.
So through 2 movie soundtracks, and then as I got a little older, I started listening to like Blink-182 and stuff, and then just kind of got into progressively heavier music from there. You know, went from like Blink-182 to like Atreyu, from Atreyu to Killswitch Engage, from Killswitch Engage to like Suicide Silence, to Carnifex, to like Dying Fetus and Cannibal Corpse.
Seems like there was the jump right there.
Yeah.
Once you got the Dying Fetus.
Yeah, once you get to Dying Fetus, you've arrived. So, but I joined Pale Twin. I've known Luke for a few years now, and he was starting a band, and he just kind of asked me if I wanted to have a part in it. So at first I said yes, and at first I was playing keys, and a couple member changes later I'm on drums. So good times. And yeah, learned the old drummer's first 5 songs, and he was a pretty damn good drummer, so that was pretty challenging, but got through that, and for the most part, and we've written 3 new ones, and we got 2 more on the way soon, so it's exciting stuff.
So, I want to talk a little bit about. I mean, what do you guys think? Should we? Let's like decide right now on air. Should we like give the explanation for the name Pale Twin, or should we leave it and let people guess what it means? I think we should let people guess. I think it's more fun that way. And then, but if somebody gets it right, we'll say. We're not gonna like. But I think it's more fun to let people have their conjecture.
Don't you think the album title that we were talking about kind of alludes to sort of what Pale Twin means?
Yeah, we were talking about multiple. I like them.
Hold on. Say it again.
We were talking about multiple titles for the album that's coming up. I like them. I like both of the main ones we talked about, but I know the one that you're talking about. I like that as well. I don't know that I want to give that out yet, though. Yeah. So, but I do think that the album title, which you will see, kind of does allude to the meaning of the band. So, again, anybody who's got some guesses on what that name means, love to hear them.
Do you want to do a rapid fire question round like we tried the first time?
Because I know, AJ, that you've played with other bands. Lance, have you and Kevin?
I've played with a few different groups of people. I know Kevin has, but I'm not sure, to what extent he's done like live shows and stuff. I know he's done a lot of DAW work and a lot of recording, home studio type work himself. That's a lot of what we do. When I get over at his place, we'll get in the lab and we'll just write riffs and I'll try and create leads over them.
Yeah. I feel that. Like, that's kind of similar thing, different genre of what I've done is like mainly studio based stuff that is about like the final tracked project digitally. And I've done a lot of that. Not as much live experience, which, by the way, look out for New Year's because we got a lot of stuff coming. But typically I've done more stuff digitally, and I've been learning with these guys every day on the live setups and everything like that, which has been a ton of fun. But what about you guys?
Yeah, I was in a death metal band called Vile Sanctum for a little while, and I played drums in that too. Yep.
I went to a few of those shows. That was you guys crushed it. You guys crushed it live. What genre would you say that band was?
I like to say it was like groove metal. But I'm not I don't really, at the end of the day, I really don't care what people classify it as. I think a lot of people classify it as death metal, which, I could see that too.
Yeah. Fits the name. Fits the name.
And yeah, we played, God, I want to say 50 shows around Ohio and Kentucky. We never played much further than Columbus, and we never went anywhere south of northern Kentucky. But we played a lot of shows around the area, played a lot of different venues around Cincinnati. It was fun. I had a good time with it. Sometimes I didn't. But I definitely always remember it.
I can attest to at least a few of those shows. They were a lot of fun. I personally, AJ, I would say before groove metal, I would say death metal. So that's what I hear.
Hey, either one. You could call it post-hardcore jazz reggaeton flow, and I'd be fine with it. So yeah, I got a question for you guys. What is your favorite band or artist now? Right now. I'm gonna start. I think Luke, what mine is. I think you could probably guess what I'm gonna say. It's been my favorite for the last 2 or 3 years, but Gunship is my favorite current artist. And if you haven't checked them out, check them out.
Why are they your favorite?
Luke asked why are they my favorite. I would say they've got a lot of different types of songs. Like, they've got epic songs, they've got ballads, they've got love songs. They just kind of run the entire gamut, and they just sound they're kind of synthwave, but they're I would say the most rock influenced synthwave band, maybe besides Carpenter Brute, which is almost verging on metal. So Yeah, I just love their sound. Who wants to go next?
So I think this one's going to be a little bit of a surprise, not because it's not a popular artist or anything like that, but just because of the stuff we're working on, like that we're getting ready to drop, which I'm not giving out any specifics, but it is a little bit of a surprise with the stuff that we've been working on recently. My favorite artist right now is actually Juice WRLD. Like, I've been vibing to Juice WRLD so hard recently. I've been listening to like some of his unreleased stuff, and just some of his most famous stuff, and I mean, I think some of that is as a vocalist. Like, he was an incredible writer. Whether he freestyled it or wrote it doesn't matter. Like, his lyricism was incredible, and like so going back and seeing the way that he does transitions, or the wordplay that he does, or his his cadences and stuff like that, is, even though it's a different genre technically, like AJ said, genres don't really make a difference. If it's good lyricism, it's good lyricism, and like, you can always learn. And like, he is one of the best lyricists I've ever seen. And so, and like, there's a reason he's like such a popular artist, and rest in peace. It's such a shame that he died so similar to how so many of those guys do. But yeah, what about you, Chris?
It's hard to really decide on an artist. I listen to a lot of bands. One that I keep coming back to as of late, which is also probably going to be a bit unusual, is a band called Broken Bow. They're a band that I'd say are kind of this almost folk punk, but with a crust edge kind of vibe. They are from Colorado, so bonus points there. That's pretty cool. So I've been listening to them for a while. The thing I really like about them is both the lyricism and just, well, I'd say the musicality is really cool as well. It just is something far beyond what I've heard in most other bands.
I got a speed question for Chris. Who's your icon bassist?
Oh,
Luke asked who's Chris's icon bassist.
yeah.
As a bassist, who's your favorite bassist?
Oof. It's another tough one. I think just all around, Matt Freeman. Matt Freeman from Rancid.
Who is that? I don't know.
He is the bassist for Rancid.
If I fall back down, you're gonna have me back up again.
Yeah. That's Rancid right there. Yeah. But he was, well, he has kind of a more ska approach to writing bass lines, almost a walking bass line approach in a lot of songs, which you don't really hear a lot in punk, but since it's his go-to, it really stands out. And personally, I fucking love it, especially with the fact that he also just builds up a lot of speed when he's playing. That's also something I really like.
Very fast. My favorite right now, I think, is a band called Unprocessed. They were some guys that I found listening to Polyphia. Those guys were my favorite for a while, but they haven't come out with anything new here recently, and I'm kind of starving for it. So I've been listening to other stuff. But they went on tour together a few years ago. I can't remember when, but me and Kevin saw them live, and they sound just like the record live. It's crazy how talented those guys are.
You don't have to. What was the band's name again?
It's Unprocessed. Their guitar player I found on Instagram before I actually got into the band. I just discovered him. He's called Manuel Gardner Fernandez. He's so ridiculously talented. It's crazy to watch him play.
Spanish?
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
That dude is fucking insane.
Crazy.
I know who he's talking about. Yeah.
Crazy, and he
It's
does.
12 string or whatever.
He plays all kinds of stuff,
Yeah,
extended range guitars, but seeing him do it all live and sing
Wait,
while
you
doing
saw
it.
him live?
Mm,
Where?
Yeah, they went on tour with Polyphia. It was down in Louisville somewhere, I think.
That is
I went to see
fucking
him,
awesome,
and
dude.
that was
I've
that was
seen
a
that
crazy
guy.
show.
Yeah.
That was a crazy show. There was one I got in. Kevin showed me Polyphia early before they really exploded, and we got into a really nice VIP show at the Southgate Revival House in Cincinnati, and that was a very intimate VIP experience because there were only about 35, 40 people there, so we were just sitting in a room
That's nice.
chatting shit. It was wild. But I think those are my top two right now. I've been bouncing back and forth between them because the guitar, not even just the guitar, all the instruments go so crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone is so talented in those bands.
I got a good question. All right. So like movie or video game, preferably video game soundtrack had the most influence on your guys' music taste, do you think? Like when you were growing up playing a certain game.
The one I thought off the top of my head was Devil May Cry 4.
What? I don't know much about that one.
Oh, it's just you guys never played that game?
I played it, but I don't remember the soundtrack.
It was they had
a tiny bit of it.
yeah.
Was it like heavy?
It was like it was kind of heavy. They had this like really pretty operatic like kind of intro, and he's like running through the city like slicing through demons and stuff. It was really cool. But then they've got like this like Spanish like guitar part at the end that's also really pretty when you like beat the game. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
I got mine. So mine was early. Like mine, I think I was probably 11 when this game came out. It was NBA Street Volume 2. Oh my God, the soundtrack on that game was, and I'm sure like that's a game that I see live streamed on TikTok constantly. Like that's not an underappreciated game. Like people recognize that game.
If you're going that route, I gotta go with Need for Speed Most Wanted then.
I thought of another good one. The XX Tricky, right?
That was sick.
Yeah.
And SSX3 too.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring up the Need for Speed games because I've got a friend of mine. I didn't play them too much when I was younger, but a friend of mine went through them with me, and I'm like, man, those have some iconic songs on them. I found them just other places through, pop culture, I guess, but they've got some bangers on there. A big one for me, just instrumentally, was Halo. The drums in that game slap.
So the way Halo was for you, that's Doom for me. I mean, oh my God, Doom. And so, hey, shout out somebody we record with that we're not going to mention on this just because we haven't gotten permission, but somebody that we work with pretty closely is actually featured on the Doom soundtrack, the Doom Eternal soundtrack, which is a little fun Easter egg.
Yeah, they had a chorus of screamers.
Yeah.
Insider info. Now you know.
I don't think Chris has given his yet. Video game or movie soundtrack that made the most difference.
I think it's kind of, I don't think there's a lot there, but the one that comes to mind for like soundtracks that I still listen to a song from has to be the Skate 3 soundtrack, specifically Debaser by the Pixies. That's still on my liked songs. So yeah,
I've heard that the skate games are pretty sick, and I see a lot of Harrison AJ's brother, I think, plays the skate games, right? AJ?
Yeah, he was watching Skate 4 like how bad apparently it is last night.
What?
Yeah, apparently Skate 4 is like awful. So he was watching all these videos ripping on Skate 4.
Any of you guys ever play Burnout Paradise? That game's soundtrack, in terms of like just old school rock and roll, is one of the best.
I got a good one. So, for you guys, if you had to pick between going into a like beautiful studio with any equipment that you needed, like type situation, or going into a like perfect crowd, you know what I mean, like perfect live setup, you know what I mean, like, are you, I guess what I'm asking to make it more clear is like, do you feel like you're like, do you guys feel like you're more of a
I think I know what you mean, right? Is it between being a studio person, like recording the perfect song, or having the perfect show, like live show?
Yeah, 100%.
I can't choose.
It's
It would really depend on where I'm at. You know, like it.
So my honest opinion is that I think my background with this is the perfect song. Like I think we talked about this a little bit earlier, just our backgrounds when we were introducing ourselves. But I would much prefer the perfect, like the like crushing it live, perfect crowd. Just because you can't replicate that atmosphere. I mean, you can make a song that becomes amazingly popular and you know, gets sent around and all that stuff accomplishes all the things you want, but it still doesn't feel the same as like being in a crowd full of people that are on the same page with whatever it is you're laying down.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think I'd go with a perfect show pretty much every time, just for energy's sake. And I think in terms of like momentum going into whatever you do next, even if you're going to go into the studio, I think coming off the back of a really hardcore success like that is...
It's more of a jolt when you have an awesome show, I think.
Yeah, good. Coming off a good show, you feel like you do anything.
You guys ever played a show and then afterwards, like the next day, just felt like just kind of like at peace? You know what I'm talking about?
Zen.
A little zen, yeah. Like, I don't know how to describe it other than that. Just
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. It's just something tangible. I mean, I've been doing music and playing music for so long, and that's really that feeling for me is the end goal of it. The live show, having that crowd energy and doing the thing. That's what it all leads up to for me. That's the climax.
And I agree as well. Like, I know what you're talking about. It's a little different for me, but I think it's probably it's probably specific to every artist. But like for me, it is because of the stuff that my background is based in with music. Like, it is the digital tracks. Those are like have become like my babies, and the things that like at the end of the day, like, but like I find my zen in listening to the specifics of those things that I've worked on, the art on the album cover, the video on the single, whatever. Those intricate details kind of become my zen because that's how I've done so much of the stuff that I've done. For me, when I've done a show, just because it's not the thing that I've done the most so far, that to me is more adrenaline. Like, I feel very up when I like around the time when I do a show. And I know you were talking about the day after, AJ, but like I would still be on the high like the day after. I feel more of a zen when like we drop a track and I see it fall onto all the platforms, like just because, again, I think it's just a different background to music.
For me, I think I have a limited amount of experience to go off of here because I haven't really played like any like shows with a band or anything like that, but when I have gone and played somewhere versus like, you know, when I have gone and played somewhere and, you know, the feeling that I get after it is generally a like adrenaline rush in the moment, and then like the next day I do feel like I feel like pretty content, I'd say. Yeah, I think even going back to the last time that I played a little bit of music on someone's porch, that was just a really awesome experience, and the next day I was feeling really good about it and just really good in general. It was just a really nice experience.
It reminds me of the first show I ever played. I was in Hickory, North Carolina, and me and my brother, we went and played at this like small pawn shop where I used to take guitar lessons. And it was like right off of like a main road, like one of the two main roads in Hickory. And so, you know, it was like us facing the street, and Harrison and I, like, we knew a bunch of like Pantera songs, and like I think we knew like a couple Cannibal Corpse songs, and I was like 17 and he was like 14. So we played this show, and it went pretty well. It was the first one ever. I'd like smoked weed before, and I was actually like really nervous being, you know, like playing, because I never played live in front of anybody before. But we got through it, and then this next the next band came on, and I mean, you know, they're like middle-aged guys like playing rock and stuff. And at the end of the show, the guitar player had like a wooden block for a guitar, and he took like a sawzall to it and sawed it in half. That was the way that they went out.
I got a good one. So my first show, I started off, this is just a little Easter egg for all of our beautiful listeners, is I actually started off music in rap, and my first live show I ever did, it was like I was just making music essentially. I'd write it down, you know, in my basement, and then take it to a studio and get it produced into a unique and new track, and then drop it on everything. And I was putting that out, and I was putting out submissions online to, you know, venues everywhere, trying to get in. I finally got a call back, and it was in Cleveland. And you know, they had a like a night that they were doing. It was something Palooza, like, and you know that's a bad sign when Palooza is in the name. But it was something Palooza, and I was like, all right. And they even said like yeah, if you'll commit to doing this, which I think was selling a certain amount of tickets or something like that, which I did because I knew a bunch of people at the time. But we'll make you the front cover, which, like, on their poster flyers, which they did. And it is the cringe. I look back on it, and it's the cringe. It's like me at 17, like just trying to be a gangster. It doesn't work. And so I go up there, right, not understanding music, not understanding music theory, not understand any of this stuff. And I go on as the last person to go, right? It's like the main person, and all my stuff is basically just like a backtrack, right? Like a basic MP3 playing in the back that I'm rapping over on the mic, kind of thing. And fortunately for me, somehow it did not fall to pieces on the stage or like immediately after. But like looking back on the entire thing, I realize how how cringe and awful of a situation it was. But I still feel proud of myself at 17 or whatever I was to go do it.
Hey, a cringe is halfway to a smile.
Oh, God.
That's fucked. That's fucked. A lot of the live stuff I've done has been just me sort of vibing out alone. What I used to do, I'm from a small town in northern Kentucky. So, like, nobody gets around or does much of anything down there. So I would just go hang out in, like, the corner of the bar and play to my backing tracks for a couple $100. And that was my Saturday night. Me and Kevin would go busking on a bridge up here, and that was pretty fun. And we would just jam out stuff we would be playing at home, and set out the guitar case. People throw money in it, and that was a pretty good time. But other than that, playing with a full band setting, I don't have too much experience. I've done it a few times. One of my friend's dads has a band of old heads that he does pretty much the same thing I was doing, just bar star type activities. I jammed with him a few times, and just jam bands here and there. But this is a different deal, I feel like.
Sure. And on that note, one thing I do want to say real quick is that from my experience, just being a random person who wants to make music, Cincinnati is actually like stock full of opportunities to go make music. Like, there are great musicians, great producers, great venues. Like, it's a great music city, in my opinion. I mean, what do you guys think?
From what I've seen so far, yeah, it is. It seems like it has pretty big scene if you know to look deeper than just the surface. So, yeah.
I hate you all, and it sucks. No, I'm just kidding. It's pretty good from what I can tell. Like, I think we talked about it a little bit last time. A lot of good venues. There's always some good bands going around the circuit, and there's definitely some good bands now going around. Yeah.
So do you guys have a preferred venue that you would want to play at? So one thing I don't think is bad shares. We are hoping to make our debut or sometime around near January, right? As far as live shows go, does that sound right to you guys?
Sounds about right.
So I'm curious what your guys' opinion, the number one venue locally that you would choose to play. Mine is immediate. It's Riverbend. I mean, that's the one that I would pick. Is like, if I could pick any place to play, it would be Riverbend. That's where for me, I can't speak for other people, but as a person who's lived in Cincinnati his whole life, I can say that when I want to go see a relevant artist, I look who's going to play at Riverbend. And I've discovered artists that I still follow to this day that were openers at Riverbend, that were not the headliner. So that's part of why I think it's such a great venue.
That's definitely a big one. I've been there a few times, but not nearly as often as I should have. The first one that came to mind for me was Bogarts. That's a big one around here. I've seen a lot of good shows there.
Large scale, I would say Andrew J. Brady, because I'm Andrew J. Shaw, and that's just so, I don't know. Anyway, and the venue looks cool. I've never been, but yeah. And then medium-sized Bogarts for sure, and then I would say smaller venue. Used to be Legends. I used to like Legends a lot. I've never played the Comet, so I'm gonna say the Comet.
I've not seen a lot of venues here, but of the ones that I have seen, because I moved here less than a year, or I moved here just over a year ago, actually.
From where?
From Colorado. But of the venues that I have seen, which are the Comet and Design Collective, I'd say Design Collective seems like the one that I'd really want to play at. I mean, sure, I might have nearly gotten a concussion there, but
That was awesome. That was fucking sick.
that was.
That was.
It was awesome.
That was really good.
But yeah, Design Collective just seems like the kind of place that I would just love to play at.
I got a fun thing. So this is something I've been thinking about as like, and I wonder, like, because I think about this with vocal stuff, and I wonder if you guys ever think about this with instrumentals. AJ, I'd be surprised if you haven't, just because of the stuff that I know that you're interested in. So like, with all obviously with all the time you spend practicing different notes and screams and this and that vocally, like it's a lot of practice just doing different voices essentially. And like I love watching interviews with my favorite voice actors, like the guys who played Courage the Cowardly Dog and those guys. And I sometimes wonder like what it would be like to do something like that. Like what it would be like to like take the talent, the same practice that you use in making music and use it in like a fashion like that, like voice acting or instrumentally being like you're making, like you're playing something for like a Lord of the Rings movie or something that is not just like a track or whatever. It's like a huge like soundscape thing. And because like when I say I've thought about it, I just mean I've wondered what it would be like, because it seems like it would be really cool to be able to just step in and be Rick Sanchez. You know what I mean? Like come in for work from 12 to 9 and get into the character of Rick Sanchez and then leave. And so I wonder like if it's the same, like if you guys would feel like enjoy that the same way doing instruments for like a soundtrack like that, or if that's more of a vocal thing.
It's weird you say that, because Laura and I, we went to Rocky Horror Picture Show. We went to Rocky Horror Picture Show play, and they had a live band playing in the background. I was like, that would be cool. I would love to do something like that at some point. So to answer your question, yes, 100%.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to get on like a movie soundtrack or something. I feel like you'd be seen and heard by a completely different set of people, and it's a completely different vibe, but still just as epic and cool.
I think it would be awesome to be able to try it out for sure. I think especially considering every single like style of music that I've listened to so far, there's little things that you can pick up from different styles that are like different genres and stuff that are different from genre to genre. And I would honestly be pretty interested to see how I'd fare in something similar to a movie soundtrack. If I was told, hey, you got to play bass on this, what would I do? I'm kind of wondering what I'd do. So yeah. So one thing that I'm wondering about is, what are you guys most excited about for the band in the upcoming months?
What about you?
Well, the thing I'm most excited for is being able to play a live show. I'm not gonna hide it. That is like one of the things I'm most excited for in the next few months. So yeah. What about you?
I mean, it's hard not to just agree with that immediately, but I want to make it interesting. I've got some vocal gear coming in that I'm excited about that I think is going to add to the live show experience. We're going to be working with new artists. We're going to be working with, new situations. I'm really excited to see, all of it, but to give a real answer, I think I would say that I am most excited to see the like digitally finished tracks like translated into a live show and done well. You know what I mean? Like those songs that I've heard so many times now in my headphones, seeing it done live and done well, and like that would be that would be it for me.
I think I'm most excited to just do more instrumentally in the band. I feel like in these most recent three that we've yet to release, Kevin's put his sauce on it, but I feel like in these next two there's really a lot of room for me to get my vibe in there. So I'm most excited to do that. But it really is hard not to just say, yeah, live shows, because that is the best shit ever.
Yeah, I think mine's along the same lines as yours, Lance. I think just expanding on our sound and figuring out maybe some new things we can do. Try to really throw some not like progressive, but experiment with different new types of sounds and stuff like that. And so that's it. Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you again here very soon. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
No, just echoing. Thanks again for listening. Our name again is Pale Twin. We're going to be doing live shows here in the Cincinnati, Kentucky, Indiana area very soon, as soon as January. Be looking for the new album. Check out our single Titan. And again, we're working with a new sponsor yet to be named. Check that sponsor out if you are a band interested in new merchandise on our second podcast. So thanks again for listening. You guys are the best. And we will catch you next time.